Hey, my unapologetically fabulous people. Welcome back to the Self Centered Podcast, where you are the main character of your life. Because guess what? If you're not, who will be? I'm your host, Sheena, and today we're talking about something that can literally change your life, as we do each week here. But today, this can change your life overnight if you're brave enough to start doing it, and that's setting boundaries. This is something that makes a lot of people weary or cringe because they may have people pleasing aspects and not know where to tap in, but setting boundaries is the key to changing everything in your life. So, we're diving into the art of saying no and protecting your peace and energy. Because it's time to stop being a people pleaser and start being your own protector. Get ready because this episode is going to be equal parts shocking, fun, but oh so necessary. So let's talk about why saying no is the new self-care. And I know that can sound harsh, but we're talking about focusing on ourselves. And no is the new self-care. So let's get into briefly why boundaries are everything. So let's start with this. Boundaries are not optional, they are essential. And when I say essential, I mean essential. You know how everyone's out here preaching about self-care, face mask, bubble baths, treating yourself to a fancy coffee. Yeah, all that's great. And we all need those things. But honey, saying no is the ultimate self-care move. You could be sipping on your lavender latte in the fanciest robe, which we love to do. But if you're still out here letting people walk all over you, it means nothing. All that's for naught. So, boundaries are essential, and saying no is important as well. So make sure that you're not letting people walk over you. And this can mean a lot of different things. So I want you to think of your boundaries like the bouncer at an exclusive club. This example makes it a little simpler for us to see. The bouncer at an exclusive club is not letting everybody in, is not letting bad people in. And guess what? You are the VIP. Your energy is sacred. It needs to be protected. Your time is precious. And if someone's not on the list, baby, they're not getting in. And this isn't in a discriminatory fashion. It's just in a self-protective fashion. So the bouncer of the club that is you is keeping the bad elements out. Because why? You are the VIP. The crazy thing is people will test your boundaries just to see how far they can go. Not because they're evil. Some people are, but most aren't. But because it's human nature. If you don't set the rules, trust and believe, they'll walk all over your space like a dance floor at 2 a.m. in the highest of stiletto heels. You got to set these boundaries. You got to protect the VIP, which is you, and make sure that boundaries are your bouncer. So, why are boundaries important? Because without boundaries, you're setting yourself up for burnout, resentment, and worst of all, self-betrayal. And you deserve better than that. Self-betrayal is essentially turning your back on yourself, and we never want to do that. There's often a fear associated with saying no. I battled it. Sometimes it can be cringeworthy to even think about saying no to people you love or care about or people you're trying to build relationships with, but you have to. I know some of y'all are saying, Sheena, saying no is hard. Look, I get it. The fear of saying no is real. We've all been conditioned to think that saying no makes us selfish, rude, or a total ITC. But can I just drop a truth bomb? Saying no does not make you selfish. It makes you smart. A thinking mind is what we all strive to have. So why not be smart about it? It's a real truth bomb. Let's face it. If you don't say no, you're saying yes to things you don't want to do or that you're iffy on. And guess what? That drains your energy. So while you're out here trying to be nice, let's say quote unquote nice, your peace is being eaten alive by stress and obligations that don't even make you happy, that don't even fit the scope of what you want for your life. And there's no need to drain all of your energy when you can simply use 2 letters. N-O. Ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between, it's time to let go of that people pleasing, essentially nonsense. Just let go of it. Because no is not a bad word. It's a definitive one. It's not a bad one. It's a lifesaver, not a bad word. When you start saying no to the things that don't serve you, you're actually saying yes to the things that do. You're leaving room for the things that do. So make sure when you're saying no to the things you don't want, that you're equally saying yes to the things that you do. Now we're going to get into some practical steps that you can use for setting boundaries. I know you're thinking, so how do I set these magical, life-changing boundaries? It's not a big, swift movement. It's not being mean or being a hater to everybody that you encounter. This is some great yellow pill wisdom here, because we're about to level up yellow pill style. Okay? Let's get pumped up. Because it doesn't take as much as you think to make life-changing moves. And in this case, set life-changing boundaries. So step 1 is I want you to get clear on your non-negotiables. What are some things that are an absolute no that you've been saying yes to? Before you can tell people what you're not okay with, you got to know it for yourself. You can't just go around saying no to everything when it might be something you're into just because you don't know. So take some time to figure out what drains you, what triggers you, and what you just flat out don't have the bandwidth for or to deal with at this current juncture of your life. This is about protecting your energy. So what are your non-negotiables? Some of these examples may hit home. Is it constant text after 9 p.m. that drives you insane? Last minute work requests at different hours of the day when you're about to clock out? Friends who only call when they need something? It's time to identify your no's. What do you want to say no to? Next, you're going to communicate this clearly and without guilt. Here's the hard part. You got to actually tell people where your boundaries are, because nobody will know. And I promise you, it's not as hard as it seems, because it's about putting you first. You got to keep it simple. You don't need a whole TED talk on why you're saying no, why you feel a certain way, what's going on. It's okay to just say, hey, I'm not available for that. Or no, that doesn't work for me. And guess what? You don't owe anyone an explanation. I know sometimes we feel we do, but you honestly do not owe anyone an explanation. A no is good enough. Okay, so we dropped the mic on this one. A simple no will do. So make sure you use the word no. So did you catch that? You do not owe anyone an explanation. A lot of times we tend to expound on things that need no expansion. Your boundaries are yours, period. And if someone has a problem with that, well, that's their issue and not yours. And you allow them to deal with their issue because it's not yours. These are important things to focus on, because we tend to focus on things that are others' issues to deal with. And we are dealing with the issues of others rather than our own. And we need to hold firm on saying no to things that don't feed us, but also on things that we don't have the bandwidth to deal with. So just hold firm on this one. This one is crucial. It's easy to set boundaries But it's another thing entirely to enforce them. So when it comes to the bouncer analogy and the VIP, people will push back. People will want to get in. People will test you. And you have to be ready to hold the line. It's okay to repeat yourself if needed. Practice saying things like, I've already said no, or this isn't up for discussion at this time. Don't fold just because someone tries to guilt you, because this is the truth. This is the truest test. Stand your ground because your peace depends on it. Okay, so let's get into some real life examples of setting boundaries. And this can go a number of different ways. So let me hit you with some real life boundary setting examples, because I know y'all love a little tea. So let's give you a little tea in the area of setting boundaries. So let's get to spelling. Okay, so the first scenario is your friend who only hits you up when they need a favor. Text you out of nowhere and is like, hey, can you help me move this weekend? Now, this is a major one. Now, if you're free and willing, that's cool. Honestly, only if you're free and willing. But if you're not, this is the perfect time to set a boundary. Here's your response in this situation. I'm actually not available to help, but good luck with the move. Boom, there it's done. No need to apologize. No need to make crazy excuses. Just let them know you're not available, but you wish them the best of luck. Okay, let's get into another scenario that a lot of people face. So, the boss who loves to send late night work texts. First of all, yikes. I've dealt with this situation before, but here's what you say. I don't respond to work messages after 7 p.m. Let's discuss this tomorrow. And in this case, trust me, you don't need to feel guilty about it. This is a hard boundary to set because you want to please those you work for. But this is your personal time, not theirs. They don't own you 24 hours a day. They don't even own you when you're at work. So it's important to set these boundaries so that it doesn't spill over into your day-to-day life, and you can make decisions that truly matter to you in your off hours and prioritize yourself in your off hours. Okay, so our next scenario is a family member who keeps crossing the line. Now, we all have that one aunt or cousin who always ask invasive questions at family gatherings. This is a time to set a boundary. Next time they ask, why are you still single? Hit them with, I'm happy where I am and I'd rather not discuss my personal life. And this is when you walk away. Because guess what? Your peace is priceless and your business is your business. No need to expand and expound upon things that you do not feel like discussing, because guess what? It's about how you feel and what your boundaries are. So let's get into how a boundary can improve your life. Here's the thing. When you start setting boundaries, your whole life will improve. Your energy shifts. You're no longer weighed down by obligations that don't serve you. Building relationships that you see going nowhere. Having experiences that you never wanted. You feel lighter, freer, and more in control. So these are the benefits of setting these boundaries and making sure you're roping off the VIP area that you're sitting in. And here's the best part. When you set boundaries, you teach people how to treat you. You show them that you value yourself, and guess what? They will start to value you more too, because the right people will respect your boundaries. The wrong people will disappear. And that's honestly a blessing in disguise. It could hurt occasionally, but these are the things that you honestly need to know. And it's better to know it when your boundaries are set, because these are things that are important to you. And if they can't respect that, that's a problem. Setting boundaries is the ultimate act of self-love, and honey, you deserve it. It's not about shutting people out, it's about letting the right people in. It's time to let the right people, experiences, and opportunities in. Let's get into a little advertisement for a couple of books that I know that you'll love. That is The Self-Love Letter and The Yellow Pill. Now, speaking of self-love, I have the perfect tools to help you on your boundary setting journey. If you haven't already, make sure that you head over to, and now I mean right now, theselfloveletter.com and grab my book, The Self-Love Letter, because it's filled with affirmations and exercises that will help you build a strong foundation of self-love, which, by the way, is the first step in setting boundaries. So self-love and boundaries go hand in hand. Sometimes it doesn't seem like it, but honestly, these things go together. And why not flip the page on this boundary setting experience? It's time to start living for you. And also, while you're at it, don't forget to pick up The Yellow Pill. This book is your complete guide to a self-centered life, and it's available on Amazon. Just type in Sheena Aaron, and that's Sheena Aaron, and you'll find it there. This book will guide you through the process of prioritizing yourself in every single area of your life, in every aspect of your life. Because honey, you come first, and that's what The Yellow Pill does. So make sure you grab this book, take the Yellow Pill, and see how your life changes. So if you're ready to say no to what doesn't serve you, and yes to living your best life, go grab these books and start setting those boundaries today. It's time to set the boundaries today. This is the perfect opportunity to create a new you. As we're approaching the new year, this is the perfect time to get into the 90-day shift, which you will also find on Amazon when you type in Sheena Aaron. And that book will help you transform yourself in 90 days. If you get on this tip now, you'll be a new person by New Year's. So I want you to embrace your inner boundary queen or king. All right, my loves, that's a wrap for today's episode of Self-Centered. I hope you're feeling empowered to start saying no and protecting your peace like the absolute queen or king you are. Remember, boundaries are not walls. They're doors to a healthier, happier, and more balanced you. Remember that. Boundaries are not walls. They're doors to a healthier, happier, and more balanced you. It's up to you when you open and close that door. Do not forget it. So go out there and start setting these boundaries with love and confidence, as well as a little bit of sass. And don't forget to come back next week for more Yellow Pill wisdom, because we'll be breaking down another juicy topic that I know you'll love, and I know you'll like the spin on this one as well. So you don't want to miss next week's episode of the Self-Centered Podcast. Make sure that you follow me on all my social media handles. And until then, protect your peace, protect your energy, and always put yourself first, because you deserve it.